We are live here with Coffee with Humans with my soon-to-be new friend, Mai. Welcome to Coffee with Humans.
Hi, thanks for having me. Nice to meet you, Jason.
This is an exciting time. Not only is it Saturday as
Yeah.
we're recording this and live streaming, in fact, to the entire world, but I just met you about 10 minutes ago, and we've talked about nothing important other
Mhm.
than some tech checks, which is the cool thing about Coffee with Humans, because everybody I meet on Coffee with Humans, they're just strangers 1 minute, and then they're friends the next. And you've got a cool thing to talk about. As we were titling this, we were kind of going around and around thinking, what to title this, and it came out how I gained confidence through pole dancing,
Mhm.
which is I think it's an engaging topic. So, but first, I'm curious, what inspired you to click the button to have coffee with me?
Well, I mean, there's time when I'm in a coffee shop and then people are working on something. I just think that it just seems very people are just very interesting. So I'm just like, okay, well, since it's a pandemic right now, it's hard to talk to strangers or people then like out of the blue if you don't know them. Then I'm like, okay, I just want to like see where our conversation goes today and kind of like a virtual coffee with you. I'm drinking water today though, because
I
I don't drink
noticed that.
coffee.
I wasn't gonna call you to task on that because any I there was there was a person once who actually asked me if they could be on because they don't drink coffee, and they were like, I are you can I be on your show? And I was like, of course. There's no prerequisite to drinking coffee. It's
Yeah.
just what coffee represents, this idea that you just get together with people, and have a conversation. And I think there's something vulnerable about just eating, like eating
Mhm.
with a person, you know, and drinking coffee.
Yeah. Or in my parents' bedroom virtually. We're still learning about each other. So
That's true. That's true. Well, I started Coffee with Humans back last April, yeah, somewhere around there, April and during COVID, and it started as one LinkedIn post that said, "If you want to have coffee, I'll have coffee with you. The only rule is no sales calls." And just off that one post has become a whole thing. So people want to connect regardless of where they're at and what their circumstances are.
yeah, I like it. I like the idea and the concept. So I'm glad to be having water with you.
I should probably have water as well. Um, it's a
You
thing.
have
Really have
coffee?
not had enough. Well, I love coffee, and I got these new Coffee with Humans mugs not all that long ago.
Nice. You have some mug.
Um, but this is my second espresso for the
Okay.
morning. My
Okay.
second 3-shot espresso. So I'm 6 shots in, which I don't know.
You're bouncing off walls in a few minutes here.
I'm gonna have to go do something active. Not only because I've slacked on my activity, but I
Mhm.
gotta wear this off.
Oh, I mean, I'm going bike riding with the fam today, so and I'm just
Oh,
drinking water. I think I'm just gonna get um my energy just from the sun. Like,
yeah.
that's all.
Well, fun fact: all energy comes from the sun. So the bike riding, curious to me, is this street riding? Going to go down streets, or are we doing mountain biking, or what's the
It's just
word?
biking. So I'm just gonna do that with the fam after this. So yeah, it's gonna be a good weekend. What are your plans this weekend?
I might go to my brother's house tomorrow. I just got the invite.
Nice.
Um, I have not responded yet. He wanted to know if I want to come over for Easter for dinner.
Oh,
And he sent me a text. He said, "Hey, I need to know to see if I should buy food for you."
mm.
And I was like, "Oh, I should respond."
Okay. Yeah, that'll be a lovely time with the fam.
Yeah. Yeah, it will. So I need to get out. I was going to do rock climbing. I go to the Y and do the rock climbing. Because there's no rocks. I'm in Northern Illinois, and
Mm,
there's no serious places to climb here except for about 2 hours away.
yeah,
And it's a good time, but you got to plan for it because you have a 4-hour round trip. and so it's not just on a whim, take off, in the afternoon and go climbing. So I was going to go this morning, and then I didn't. But
But
oh
we're
well.
having coffee and water.
Yeah, we are having coffee, and we're talking about pole dancing, but I think actually we're talking about confidence.
Mhm.
And I have to admit, when I saw pole dancing, is when you signed up, because people sign up and then they put in there what's on your mind, and you just wrote pole dancing, and I thought, what is this about? Because then I was thinking, this is a live show. Like,
We
am
got
I
in
punked?
here. Oh no. Heard it all.
And I was like, is this fitness? Is this, not like I didn't know what was going on. And so I'm pleasantly surprised to know that I'm not getting punked and gonna have to shut down the live stream,
Mm.
because it went through my mind. I was like, oh no, like this is the moment when I'm like, oh shoot, it's live on Facebook and my channel gets shut down. So
You're
that's
you're gonna be like a lot of liabilities sued after this.
it went through my mind. I don't know. I was just like, oh well, here we go.
Everything I
Um,
worked for since April. It's like my year anniversary now. Beginning of April. It all ends
actually,
here.
it is. You
Yeah.
actually are on the anniversary. You're like, I think you're like a week, maybe 2 weeks away.
Well, happy
Anniversary.
anniversary because it shuts down today. Woo!
That's good. That's fine. It was a good run.
That's a good one.
So you're why is this topic on your mind, and why are you putting it out there as the thing that you want to chat about?
Mainly because when I got into competitive pole dancing, that's where I saw so many artistic routines on stage, just one after the other, of different tones other than just like sexy. So I just really want to put the art out there as this is for this is an art and slash fitness.
Hmm.
So just breaking down like stigmas around pole dancing.
Yeah, because it does have a stigma to it, which um, I think there was a pole dancing place that opened up in our town
Mm,
uh, a long time ago, and it was kind of this. It was people were on. People kind of took sides on this almost. It was like knew nothing about it and like don't do that. It's crazy. And then there were people who were like, this is amazing, best thing ever. I'm so glad I did it. But it was interesting because it is one of those things that's very polarizing,
yeah,
because I think there's a lot of ignorance around pole dancing and what it is, in sort of the more mainstream aspects of it. So
yeah,
you're in competitive pole dancing?
yeah. On a regional and national level, everything is now done virtually though due to COVID. So I just
Yeah.
have the pool in my living room. And it's just chilling there while my mom's cooking, brother's playing piano, dad's on drums, and I'm on the pole.
Really? Oh, one big happy family.
Oh yeah, you know, the new modern family.
So does your brother, you say your brother plays piano, does he play piano to your pole dancing?
Oh, we never thought of that collaboration. No, we
You totally should. I thought that's might be what you're doing, because it makes sense that I don't know what kind of music your brother plays, but I mean, I used to play piano. I still play piano, but I played piano as a kid and had a, piano in the living room, and mom's cooking dinner and dad's doing whatever and I'm playing, tinkering on the piano. It makes sense to me that you would have this artistic collaboration between piano and
that's a
pole dance.
yeah. I mean, have you ever done a collaboration with your piano? Maybe a friend who
Uh,
dances or someone who plays.
I um
Mhm.
I'm gonna say no. No, not just me. I've done things where I've like played and then people have done their stuff on stage or whatever.
Mm,
But I've never done it
collaboration.
makes sense to me. No, not exactly. Not like this artistic duet, which
Mhm.
makes sense to me because if, especially if it's not just not just playing a song. I mean, it could be like playing a song. I'm thinking like Claire de Lune, Debussy's Claire de Lune. That would
Oh,
be a beautiful song to dance to. But if a person like could just play chords, like one person feeds off of the other, one person's kind of playing what they're seeing, and the other person's doing what they're hearing,
mm,
could be beautiful. I think.
yeah. I think a lot of collaborations, it just, like, synergizes and ups the level, so all artists out there, pole dancing can go to acoustic music, classical music, any types, not just one particular tone.
Yeah. Why do you link it with confidence?
Because I look at the journey I've had through pole dancing, and I just remember walking into my first pole dance class feeling like this gawky, awkward thing that's supposed to know how to move gracefully around a pole like a kinda like a a flowy swan. And then I'm like, "How am I supposed to do this?" And then just a lot of practices later, then I realized like, "Oh, okay, I had some fails, I had some tries, I had some developments and improvements." And then just that journey, I gained more confidence through it. Much like how I would imagine if you were to do when you practice your piano. So when
Yeah.
when you practice any sort of passion, I just feel like you improve in it and then you just gain more confidence in yourself through it.
Why did you choose pole dancing? Of the things that you could do, why, it's a, if you felt like you were to your own, using your own words, you said that I was this gawky, kind of person who couldn't move. And like, why then pole dancing? Because it seems
It
so
was
far outside of things you could do.
it was the opposite end of the spectrum, and I never thought I would be a decent pole dancer. But my mom suggested I try aerial fabric.
Yeah.
You just imagine like sheets hanging from the ceiling and then you play on that. And next door was a pole dance studio. And I knew I love dance performances. So I wanted to perform. And there wasn't any upcoming aerial fabric performances, but there was a competitive pole dance uh, thing going up. And so I was like, okay, well, in order for me to perform, I better pole dance. That's what happened. I think we froze. Hello?
Am I back?
Yes, I see you again.
Oh my gosh.
Me.
All of a sudden the internet's like, nope. It it turned off on me. The internet went
It,
down.
it, it might have been me. Might have been my internet. So
No, it was me. My screen, I've got like multiple screens. I'm surrounded by these screens, and I
yeah.
was like one after another. trying to connect, trying to connect. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Well, now we're on other sides too. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I know, we flipped.
I wonder if I could flip that back.
Oh,
What? I've never done that before. All right.
well,
So what I think I left off with, and you probably answered it even though I didn't hear you, which was you went to pole dancing because it was something that you were you were maybe fearful of or a little bit afraid of getting into, but wanted like you wanted to, but you kind of felt like it wasn't for you, or what?
actually, I really wanted to perform a dance,
Okay.
and the pole competition was the only thing I knew that was upcoming. So, because I can't join a team because I'm not really good at other dances, nor was I at pole, but at least as a solo.
Okay.
And then I had to train up to learn this thing. 3.5 months after my first pole class was my first pole competition, and I got second.
Wow. Really? Oh,
Big
congratulations.
thank you. That was 3 years ago, and then ever since that, it was a year after my first pole dance class where then I won gold at nationals. That was a good time too.
Did you think that when I mean when you were looking ahead at this, did you think that you would be so good as to be able to, win at these national competitions?
No, I just really like to perform.
Okay. All right. And you didn't, so you wanted, so okay, this is interesting. So you wanted to perform, you don't, almost didn't care kind of what it was, other than you like dancing, it sounds like.
Yeah, but what I like about this is, I've tried a bunch of dances and I was bad at it. I'm terrible at hip hop, salsa, ballroom, waltz. What else is there? Jazz.
Did
So
you
the
try all of those? Did
ballet.
you,
I'm so bad at it. And I'm like, all right, well, I just got to narrow it down. Process of elimination, pole dancing, and
so you went through all of those types of dancing to figure out that had to try pole dancing?
almost. I also liked
Yeah.
it that not only do you go on the x-axis, but you go on a y-axis as well,
Okay.
and
Hmm.
I thought that was very interesting.
Did you ever
Oh no, it happened again. It froze.
get in?
Okay, I think we're back. Okay, we're not
I
back.
don't know what's going on. I'm back. I got
Oh,
you.
back too.
Yeah, I don't know. The internet's doing some funky weird around this space apparently today.
Yeah, I put my phone on airplane mode just to make sure that it has more Wi-Fi energy coming this way.
It might, I don't know. It might be me. Who knows? The technology. So,
Technology.
so did you ever do the aerial fabric stuff, or did you just stay with pole?
I did aerial fabric for about a month until I found out like there was a pole competition coming up. So then I
Okay,
switched.
then you just
I was
focused in on pole
like,
dancing.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause that's exactly what happened. I'm so curious, like I mean, what got into the hobby what made you get into your favorite hobbies then?
Mm,
I feel like we all get into it different ways. And
yeah, that's a good question. Well, I got into rock climbing because I was afraid of heights.
oh,
Uh,
see, everyone is so this is the concept of coffee with humans because it's just like just this contradictory like I have a fear of drowning, but I'm certified in scuba diving. But okay, so fear of heights. Let's
yeah,
get into this one.
and I need to get certified in diving because I'm also I was a diving in Hawaii years ago. My mask started filling with water, and I thought this is over. This is the end. And I was like 50 feet down or whatever, and I was terrified. And so I thought I should continue this journey because I didn't want to be afraid. Like I didn't want to live in fear and have fear control me. So that's why I got into rock climbing because I was afraid of heights. I felt like I wasn't living the adventuresome life that I thought I could or wanted to live.
Mm.
And I said, screw it. And for me, it really did go like this. If there are two people standing at the edge of a cliff, one person's afraid and one person isn't, what's the difference when they're both in the same circumstance? And I thought the
Yeah.
person who's afraid must not know something that the person who isn't afraid must know. And if I could learn what the person who isn't afraid knows, then maybe I could overcome my fear. And so I did. I learned to rock climb, and now I know when I'm safe and when I'm not safe, when I shouldn't be afraid and when I actually should be afraid.
Well, what's the highest height?
Hmm. Uh, well, I mean, I've climbed. I routinely go 80 to 100 feet,
Mm.
80 to 100 foot climbs. Um, I years ago I was climbing in Red Rocks outside Las Vegas, and it was non-technical climbing up to the point where we did technical climb off on the face of a rock where if you fell, you'd fall
Oh my
hundreds of
god.
feet.
Yeah, because it's not just your height, like, it's not just a fear of heights, but then it might even be more unsafe even if you were lower, depending on what the terrain is.
Well, I mean, it's sort of a joke. It's not. I mean, it's probably not a funny joke, but the joke kind of is that if you don't want to fall from a moderate height, because then you'll probably be maimed and and live not a good rest of your life. You'll wish you were dead. So if you're gonna fall, fall low, or just go way the hell up there and just get it done and over with, because you're definitely gonna want to not live through that. Uh,
Mm.
which whatever. But that's the thing with rock climbing is very safe in if you know what you're doing and you take care of the details. It's
Mhm.
very not safe if you're just gonna wing it. You can destroy yourself real fast.
Oh. I the only reference I really like, I tried rock climbing, I was so bad. And so it's it's a lot of more so bottom work than arm. Uh,
Yes, it's a lot
yeah,
of legs,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
what most people don't get when they first start rock climbing. They're doing a lot of arm work and like
Mhm.
pulling themselves up, and they're afraid to get their legs up and stand. But if you get your legs up and stand, your legs have been carrying you all day, and you didn't give them a second thought. You can't really pull with your arms all that long, or you're going to be exhausted in no time. And once your forearm strength is gone or your hand strength is gone, it doesn't come back. It's not like, give it a breather. It's done. So, yeah, it's a lot of legs. But yeah, that's why I got into rock climbing. I was afraid of heights, and I didn't want to be afraid of heights anymore.
And you were almost had your near drowning experience, and now you're gonna go solidified.
I have to. It's the whole process of scuba diving is fascinating to me. I love going exploring. Um, it was really fantastic. It was exciting, to be in the 50 or whatever feet down we were in Hawaii. Um, and to see, fish swimming
Mhm,
by you, and I love that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's another, just like climbing was this point of fear where I learned through it to not be afraid or to know when I should be afraid. I feel like a lot of diving is that. Not only is it acclimation, just being acclimated to the environment,
mhm,
but learning all the technical parts of it so that I can understand how to keep myself safe.
mhm. And a lot of diving, as you probably experienced, it's like a mental thing. Because if you
Mm.
freak out and you breathe really quickly, you're using up your oxygen tank, and you are not gonna be safe if you breathe short breaths and you're, like, moving up and down like this and then freaking out. That's not good for internally in your body.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It is. I think a lot of these things, um, in fact, I would say most everything is a mental game.
mhm,
Initially, like I was joking, hanging out with my daughter the other day, and
mhm.
I don't know how we got on the subject. We were like saying, what's the longest person has held their breath? And I was like, it's probably less than 10 minutes. And I couldn't remember. And years ago, I had watched a documentary on divers, competitive divers. And it's like 18, almost 19 minutes that a person has held their breath underwater. And think of that. Like I was thinking like I've timed myself before. When I was in good shape, I probably would hold it for like 45 seconds. And then my brain's just like, you got to breathe.
Yeah.
How do you get to, more than 20 times as long as that? It's got to first begin in your head. I think your body's just like, whoa, stop the crazy. And then your brain's just like, it'll be fine. Relax.
It's not just, oh my God, I didn't know it was like 18, 20 minutes. Because what you must be doing a lot of breathing exercises to train your lungs to, I mean, I don't know this, but
Yeah.
diving too, it's not like you're laying there and you're not using energy and then you're holding your breath for 20 minutes. It's you're kicking, you're using energy, I don't, that's amazing. I think that must take years to get there.
Yeah. I think at to some degree, you must have a physical disposition. Your
Mhm.
body must be formed in a certain way, kind of like Michael Phelps. His body is formed to be a swimming body. He exaggerated that or leveraged that by training. And so I think that certain people have a certain disposition to certain types of movements. Probably like you have a disposition to being able to do this very flowy sort of dancing stuff, and maybe not so much hip hop. And I don't know what my dancing style would be, but be interesting to find out.
Yeah, try pole dancing. Just
Do
wing it.
guys do that? Is it a guy thing?
Absolutely, it's an everyone thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just like diving, just like golf.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
just like
I do
camping.
yoga. I thought I never did yoga for the longest time because I
Yeah,
thought that's not a very guy thing to do. Um, and I love it. I think yoga's great. I
yeah.
It's profound in physically, spiritually, emotionally. It's good. It's good stuff.
Actually, that's like I feel like just meditation, yoga should be a everyone. It's when you're stressed or even when you're not stressed to maintain your sanity,
Mm.
yoga and meditation. It's kind
Do you
of
meditate?
I have not been keeping up with it. I really should.
Well, I don't think a person has to keep up with it. It's not a point of judgment. I think because I too have been in this like tried to regiment some of these things at times. Like I should meditate.
Yeah.
Um, and I did the other day. The reason I ask, the other day I was doing a video series for more work related stuff, and I thought I got this. I just had these thoughts, like questions that I would like to ask myself, and I think other people would ask themselves to evaluate what went on in the past week, and set an intention for the coming week.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
And
that.
I did what I thought was probably a 5-minute meditation in front of a camera, eyes closed, breathing, thinking of asking questions, thinking about the answers. And when I got done, when I opened my eyes, 15 minutes. It had been 15 minutes. I was standing in front of the camera, and I thought it had been literally just a handful of minutes.
Mm.
And I think, and it was this powerful moment because I was almost giddy because I thought there's all this subconscious work that's going on where the conscious mind shut down for a while, and let time pass. Time was meaningless. It didn't happen in those moments. And then I woke from this, and I was refreshed, and I was like excited just from being still for a time when I lost myself. It was really interesting.
Yeah, living in the present. S Just taking it back, like, okay. Actually, I remember there was this quote, it was along the lines of, "What if you're missing out on what you've been wanting?" Like, what if you, I should really write these down. It's like, what if you reach the destination of what you worked for and wanted, but you're missing out on it while you're in the middle of it?
Hmm.
Did that follow? Oh god.
I hear what you're saying. It's like this idea that 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 you are here, like
Yeah,
the
you're
thing that you
here
wanted is
now.
now.
This is it's almost like if I was on stage for those 3 or 4 minutes performing the routine, but and I worked on this for a routine for 3 months and trained up for it, choreographed it, had some fails and successes. Okay, this is the final choreography. Practice, practice, practice. This is my moment on stage. And then when it comes to that 3 or 4 minutes, I don't enjoy my time on stage. Sometimes I feel like maybe that could, like, what if I go, I'm in the middle of diving and then I'm still, I'm not living in the moment. What if
Hmm.
I'm out with my friends now, and but we're all going to be on our phones, but we plan to meet at this bar and catch up on our week. Like this, now we're here, we made it. So, um, actually, that's my constant fear is that I'm not living in the present, especially with our whole um, easy distractions in the modern world.
It's interesting how you say that. That's your constant fear that you're not living in the moment.
Yeah, and then right there, you're not living in the moment. So it's a hard thing to do. I think meditation would help with that, which I haven't been doing, but good for you that you did.
Why? Um, so what is it? Have you done any thinking on why you have that constant fear of not living in the moment?
Yeah, because there's already been several instances where, like, I'd be looking forward to my best friend's birthday, and I'm like, okay, I'm so excited for this. Like, we're so pumped. We were talking about what outfit we're gonna wear, or like, these people are coming. I'm gonna meet like her other group of friends, and we're at the birthday party, but then I'm worried, like, uh, I just by the end of the birthday, I'm like, what was my favorite moment? Like, I was so trying to put myself in, like, talk to a bunch of people and get her friends to yeah, I'm her best friend from the other group too. But then, like, did I connect in those conversations? Did I have like did I when she was enjoying blowing out her birthday cake and we're all singing to her, I'm so busy like videoing, like, okay, I know she would love this moment, so I'm gonna just make sure I get everybody in the camera. Um, I think we turned this podcast from about how I gained confidence through pole dancing to let's live in the moment.
Well, it's interesting because I think I recently had, as probably over the past 2 or 3 weeks, a lot of people whose focus was discussing how they just live in the moment and how they just make decisions for now. And it's interesting uh, the desire. Maybe it's a I think it's a desire that each one of us has to be able to be connected to our now and
Mhm.
to bring all of our energies into the now and not have to worry so much about the future. And yet we're pulled constantly into, what's next or what's the new thing.
Right. I have a story. So
Yeah.
there's two guys. One dude wants to be a monk, and the, I guess, like, senior monk wants is training or helping this guy out, and then he's like, all right, so all right, it's a rainy day, just come over to my house and remember, just put your umbrella on either side of the door out at the front and then come in. And then younger guy comes in, puts the umbrella at the door, and then he's like, all right, I'm ready for my training to, like, live in the moment, or to get certified now, or whatever the heck. And then the older monk was like, all right, which side of the door did you put the umbrella on, left or right? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Goes back out. I was like, okay, go back. You didn't pass. So, a lot of
There's
like was the garage door? Did we turn off the stove? Like, because you
yeah,
weren't there, you're thinking about like what's next.
I've been so guilty of that, of being not present, right? Sometimes not present to your own life. So life is happening right now, and
Yes.
sometimes we're not present to that life. We are thinking about, like you talked about, something that's on the other side of the now, which
Mhm.
when you're scuba diving, or when you're on the pole, do you stay present to that now, or do you tend to have your mind wander?
Okay. I feel like in the middle of it, I battle between both at the same
Mm.
time. Because sometimes I am thinking, "Hey, what do I want for lunch?" Because scuba diving is like 45 minutes to an hour. I'm just open water. I'm not advanced, so
Okay.
I have that's my time, and I I'm thinking, wait a minute, you've been wanting this. You put on the BCD, or the backpack that holds your buoyancy, that controls your buoyancy, and you like rented this gear out. It's like $100 per oxygen tank. You planned it with your diving buddy, and now you're finally out here. You're looking at the fish, and you're wondering what you're gonna eat for lunch. Because I was kind of hungry, but also you don't want to go in like full stomach. So I
Right.
was thinking about food. So then I sometimes in the middle of it would revert back to, okay, enjoy looking at the seals whizzing by you, enjoy looking at the seaweed that's not dead uh, uh, on the shore now. It's like still just moving on the water.
Hmm.
So both.
I I I was thinking about um what you're saying, that you tend to kind of battle between staying present and then being pulled into, or thinking about things that are not in that moment. And
Mhm.
I wonder if that tension is necessary to some degree. Um, so I mean, this idea that we have this tension, I think it's a good tension of, I want to stay present, and I know that because I can feel the pull into something different. And so I do a good work to bring myself back to that present moment. Kind of like when you were thinking about, I want to be able to perform. How do I want to be able to perform? And that desire to perform kept you moving through different options, and then settled you into something that just eventually clicked. And it was work, I'm sure, to go through those things and to continue on and persist, and then work to when you'd figured out what you wanted, to then apply yourself to that, to then excel to the point where now you're confident in your own skin, and on your own performance, your performance art, and doing it at a national scale. Do you think that tension is necessary, and for us to be able to excel?
I think there's a balance between you can live too much in the moment. I learned this the hard way because while I was on stage, I did this one move. The crowd was cheering, and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I feel the energy, I feel the vibe." I forgot the next move, and
Oh no.
then I screwed up. And I'm like, "Okay, all right, I know this word of the song is when I was supposed to do this. I'll just go from there." So you need a balance of both.
Yeah.
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 I agree. I do singing,
Mm.
and that's my pastime. Probably, I enjoy singing, and I'm probably okay at it. And I can get lost in in singing, and kind of push away. It's my performance art, right?
Yes.
So I know what I'm doing, but I'm thinking about that song, and I'm thinking about that phraseology, and I'm crafting it based on, who's in the audience or what the crowd is feeling and that kind of stuff to be able to create a space
Mm.
to, maximize, I don't know, enjoyment or receptivity or something like that. Which um, it's work, but it's a good work, and it just flows. It's my jam.
Yeah. You when you find your natural flow in something, you just like going along with it. I think that's the best feeling. One of the best feelings.
Yeah.
Um, actually, I I can think of one quote too. Okay, I'm gonna nail this one. So it's like, are you listening or are you waiting for your turn to talk?
Mm.
Which I have trouble with. Because that way, I mean, it's better when you bounce off the idea of the person, and that's more of a better connection rather than already have your pre-drafted
Right.
thought. Just say that, just like two people, like just missing each other. But this, I'm like, I'm glad for this coffee with humans because I feel like it kind of goes along with the concept. It would go along with the concept of you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, but we're listening and learning and being open to learn about other experiences.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad for that quote because I think it's so true. And I've admittedly had a hard time with that as well, and still have a hard time with that in certain circumstances. And I the way I've worked on that is to maximize curiosity for one. So
Mhm.
if I put myself in a learning capacity to just learn, then I have no preconceived notions about what I should be learning. I'm just curious. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is there's a principle in coaching um, that says the answer is already within you. You're just not yet aware of it. And that applies to all of us. So, what should I do with my life or where should I do in this circumstance, whatever. The answer is in us. It just hasn't come to the surface because we're generally not good at asking good questions of ourselves. And so I think particularly like in a space like this, the opportunity for each of us is to the is to just give space, carve out that space to explore, and then the realizations that each of us needs to see and can come to are already trying to come out. And when you carve out the space, they have a space to come out. And again, like what should that be? I don't know. What should it be for you? I have no idea. What should it be for me? I forgot about scuba diving until you brought it up. I was talking about it last year, thinking I should do this, and it comes back up time and time again. And I'm slow to pull the trigger for
It's
no
a
reason.
universe, that's for sure.
Well, for
The
sure, yeah.
neon lights, the dolphins are jumping for you. It's like, where's Jason?
Well, for me, I still have fear around that. I don't have fear around rock climbing anymore. But I do have fear around, finding myself, in the bottom of some place and thinking I can't go up fast and I'm going to die here.
That's how I felt when I got my certification. I'm like, this is it. I chose to pay money and already be buried under the ocean. It's like, um, actually, so with my diving instructor, this, so to the my diving instructor said that this is for the first time I dived. He said, actually, kids are better divers than adults because kids, we tell them to breathe and kick. And then that's what they do. The kids just breathe and kick. What do adults do? It's like, oh, what happens if this regulator, which feeds you the oxygen, falls out? What happens? Like, is my buoyancy correct? Am I vertical or am I not? You're supposed to be horizontal. And like, what if there's a shark or like and like you're panicking. You're having your short breaths again, and it's like the difference between the two people who are standing at the edge of a cliff. One person knows about all the possibilities of things that can go wrong, and maybe one person either doesn't know or knows, but then they know how to mentally deal with it. For kids though, they just I don't think they know all the things that can go wrong, and um, I thought that was
And
cool.
and most of those things won't go wrong. I feel like whether it's getting into pole dancing or whether it's rock climbing or whether it's scuba diving or whether it's something else that the person wants to do, the opportunity I think for each of us is to act more like a kid or appreciate the benefits of being a kid um where what if I just did this and I didn't have to have all the worries and the concerns that stop me from doing things that can bring me to profound realizations or bring me into something I really enjoy or bring me into something I really excel at. What if we were just like kids, um, and didn't get it all mucked up, with
Yeah,
our knowledge of how the world works?
maybe a balance between the two, so that if there's a huge surge and you do lose your regulator, kids aren't just like you know what to do. You're not
Yeah,
totally ignorant, like looking at the sunset while there's like fire going on your house. It's just like you do the motion to bring back your regulator.
yeah.
Um,
Which was always actually, it's funny you bring that up. That's the one thing that really, really scared me when I went when they brought me into the pool to just like to they gave us pool training before we
yeah,
went out into the ocean, and we had to test. We had to lose our regulator on purpose and then go find it. I was like, ugh.
that's why I said go fetch the thing that feeds you oxygen. And you're like 30 feet under.
Yeah. And then you got to hold enough breath in your lungs to be able to
Mhm.
clear it. Like,
Yeah,
what if I don't? What if I don't have any more breath?
yeah.
Then what? Apparently, you just press the button.
See, we need to know that. So it's a balance between the two.
I suppose so. Yes.
There's,
Well,
yeah,
go ahead.
there's just so many more things that can go wrong in diving actually than right. But because if someone were to get, if you're listening and you want to get certified, like I'd say like a quarter of the class is learning about breathing slow, kicking, and then the rest of the time is like 3 quarters of it is if this goes wrong, if this goes wrong, if this goes wrong, if this goes wrong, 10 da da da. This is what you do. That was my thought after my certification. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
absolutely. And why not?
yeah, you
Uh,
can't get
it's
to that.
important to know those things. You don't have time to just like make it up.
Hmm.
Breathing is a necessary thing, and we um,
Hmm.
can't screw around with it, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're winding up on our time here. I've got your website pulled up, your Instagram. I'm gonna throw this up on the screen here for viewers.
Oh, it's a zero,
Um,
not an O.
I corrected that once before.
Oh wow. The other,
Uh,
oh my goodness,
I
is
did
gonna.
that, didn't I? There it is. There it is. The editable caption no longer exists. Well, I don't know why it says that.
Well,
Hold on. What I've got. I know what I've got. One second.
oh yeah. So my Instagram has. Oh, we're gonna watch it. Okay. You
Hey,
can
look at
actually
that.
we can actually make it bigger. So click on the go scroll over to the video portion. Go
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, right there.
Oh, hold on. I bet I could share it in a slightly different way that would look better.
Did I already show you this?
No, I found it because you gave me your Instagram handle, and so I thought I'd pull it up.
Hmm. Hmm. There's
That's some
some
serious core work there.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my right in front of the fireplace.
Oh, that's what that is?
I just covered it with a towel.
And your brother's not playing piano in the back, unfortunately.
No.
But you have music.
Lord, I pray we'll never get
Were you always so flexible, or did that flexibility come through pole dancing?
Stretching, and lots of stretching after I started pole dancing.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, I'm and getting to be a little older. I'm 43 now, and my I've noticed through the pandemic since I stopped stretching and stopped going to the gym in quite the same frequency, it's catching up. I'm
So
not flexible.
we all got that quarantine fluff and unflexibility with us. Like I'm here like that too. So,
Hmm. Well, this is really cool. I'm thanks for sharing this this stuff with us.
thank
Do
you
you
for
give classes, or what are your what's
no,
your
I don't
what's
give
your putting on Instagram?
my what
What's the reason you put it on Instagram? Just to share?
because well that song I was supporting the well one that was one of my virtual competitions, and then
Oh,
two I was supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, and the song is if you listen to the words, it's really it's just so impactful, and it was also from the musical called Ragtime that reflects on the the Black community at the like 100 years ago, and then we're still kind of on that same chapter today. I'm like,
mm,
oh, it just made me sad. So I picked that song, and then along with it, I was matching donations up to $1,000 out of my pocket to anything that stood against racial injustice, so people can donate to the NAACP. Um, that was the most common one, but I was just matching donations and putting in my artistic view on it too.
gotcha. Cool. That's really neat. Well, how does a person get started with pole dancing if they want to get into pole dancing? What's the or experiment around with it? What do you do?
Take a beginner class. That's it.
Yeah, just go through the just do a Google search, find somebody who has pole dancing classes.
I'm sure pole studios are all around, so Google the nearest pole studio to you. They do outdoor, socially distant pole classes now, or they do it with mask on, um, and then enroll just like I did. And then I think it's worth like the 1 hour investment just to try something new.
Yeah, for sure. So we didn't cover this. Where are you located? I'm outside Chicago.
I'm in LA.
LA.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, good. Any other final thoughts that you want to leave our listeners with as we close this out?
Live in the present. That's it.
Live in the present. And that's how do you connect that with confidence? Just out of curiosity.
That way you could be more connected with your journey as you develop through something and not have like the good things whiz by you. So if I nail a trick, especially if it's hard, then I live in the moment. I'm like, oh my god, like you guys, like I did it, and everyone claps for me because usually I mean, there's people around and we're all very supportive of each other. So then I let it soak in, like, okay, I succeeded that trick that time, and then in that journey, I I succeed more tricks, and then I just have more on my list. So um, that helped me gain confidence.
Cool. All right. Well, Mai, thanks for joining me on Coffee with Humans. This has been educational and interesting. And you've inspired me to go ahead and finally get my scuba, or at least start again on the scuba certification road. That'd be interesting.
Yay. Thanks for having me. It was a fun chat, Jason. So,
All right. Well, to all our viewers and listeners, this has been Coffee with Humans. I met Mai an hour ago, and we've talked about her journey through pole dancing and gaining confidence also into her other pastimes, which includes scuba diving. So that's kind of cool. But Coffee with Humans, where strangers become friends. Catch us next time on Instagram and Facebook and Twitch and LinkedIn and YouTube, something like that. And then catch Mai on Instagram. I'll put your link up here one more time. A national gold winner for pole dancing.
bye, guys.
Pretty exciting. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
One of the things I love about Coffee with Humans are the raw conversations I get to have, meeting new people just like you. If you or someone you know should be on Coffee with Humans, go to coffeewithhumans.com. Remember, the only rule is no sales calls.
This has been Coffee with Humans. Subscribe to get updates or click to have coffee with me. coffeewithhumans.com.